So, next day, next video. Or rather, not next day, because yesterday was a bit of a mess. I think we're sort of aiming for, like, you know... It's weird. Aim for, like, 6 videos a week. 6 or 5. I mean, ideally 7, right? But benefit of the doubt stuff, right? Let's see, yeah, looks weird on camera. So, narratives, stuff like that. I've been thinking, and I think that maybe focusing entirely on that and having everything about that is going to be like a little much. I mean, when I saw Darren Brown, he did have a theme. It's that, you know, we're all essentially the same person, and that everyone's got the same type of connections to people. But there's a focus on, you know, very much with a lot of this stuff on being yourself, which, you know, I'm reading Nick DeFat's book at the moment, which is very good. It's about, well, it's various different tricks, but he's got lectures interspersed with them, particularly scathing one about comedy magicians, which is quite funny. But yeah, so my brain is floop. So yeah, so I mean, hang on, I'll find my notebook again. One sec. Okay, two. So far, card stuff is the main focus. Now, that's fine, but I think that is a limited-ish way of looking at it. Now, I've got a list on my laptop of tricks that I have done in the past, and what I can do with them. So, sorry, let me start again. I've got a list of tricks that I can do and variations thereupon. So looking through them to see what works and what fits is maybe something that I want to look at. Oh God, my brain's a mess today. Christ, yeah, no, I don't have much stuff, like, you know, I've in the past gone over this with myself and come to the conclusion and realization that a lot of the stuff that I'm doing has always been card stuff because it's the easiest to get into, right? But just taking the meds that I forgot I needed to take. I've got stuff with rubber bands. I've got quite a bit with rubber bands, which is good. And I can definitely add and use some of that, but I need to build up a little bit the effects that I do, because obviously I've got the penetration, the slow penetration, and the well, most of my rubber band stuff is essentially just penetration tricks at this point, but I have a lot of resources on that. The wonder of downloads. While books are, I would argue, better because there's a lot of information all condensed into one space where you can go into details that, you know, you can go into videos, but it's a lot more tactile. You forget about downloads. You forget that you've got downloads. Like, I forgot. I'm sure there are downloads I've forgotten. Maybe that's something I should do, is go over the downloads that I have and look at them and sort of try and see if there's anything in there information-wise that I've got. I want to keep going through my the book that I'm reading through, Nick DeFat's book. What's it called? Offbeat. I started reading through that last night. Because essentially, I mean, what were the other notes, things that I wrote down, ideas that I had yesterday? Oh yes, so trying to restore thread. That was the other one that was potential. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a new little list here, so I don't have to constantly be checking back on my notepad, so I have it everywhere. So the ideas currently are TCM, ambitious, invisible deck with an index, card appearance. What did I even mean by that? I don't know. Out of this world. And then actually, I wrote stuff down, but I took a photo of it, didn't I? So that photo should be backed up, should it? I'm just gonna go grab the book. I don't think there's anything in this actually that any comments that I made that were particularly useful during a lecture. I mean, there's stuff that's useful, but stuff that's not immediately actionable. Ideas involving cables and stuff, using rope stuff as cable stuff. That is quite good. And I've actually got quite a good rope routine now. Again, credit goes to Nick DeFat. I want to read through that at some point properly. Because I think the rope thing, the principles are really good. The principles are really clever, but no one is carrying around rope, you know? What people are carrying around are cables, phone cables, chargers, right? Because we're all plugged into everything, blah, 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 blah. So take rope magic, turn it into cable magic, right? So yeah, so also it should be worth noting that I'm not expecting this to be immaculate. Yeah, it's my first show, it's a Zoom show, so there's got to be a level to it of, you know, interactivity through Zoom. And, you know, as a separate thing, I need to work out the pitchfork idea, blah, blah, blah. But right now, if I just create a basic show, how long? 45 minutes? Okay, yeah, so I need to go over the other books and stuff that I have. That might be what what's happening like that. Something I do today. So books to recap quickly. So stuff like Stage by Stage, Maximum Entertainment. I've got Strong Magic by, I think it's Darwin Ortiz. Yeah. Scripting Magic, go over that again. Well, I mean, it's, again, I've got both books, they're pretty fucking big. Oh no, I said a bad word. Again. Oh no, YouTube will not push my video on the algorithm that I am totally relying on. Stage by Stage, Maximum Entertainment. I want to go through I want to quickly look over Darkest Corners. And the Fat book, which again, is offbeat. And then obviously I have downloads and stuff, so I think maybe the first thing I do is I just get a huge list of tricks that I know, not necessarily that I'm good at, that I can work on, but I know that I can learn quickly and get good quickly by performing, because I've got the best performance environment. I've got a bar downstairs. I can go and perform in a bar 2 times a week minimum. There's other bars. I'm in Student City, right? So there's always events going on at bars that I can go to. I'm also learning my German, practicing that. So that's progress, slow as it is, but it is progress. Yeah, so go through these tricks, see which ones I think would work first, because it's like I dig around. I dig around with cards so much that it's surprising how little tricks I know, because a lot of it is just fiddling, it's practicing moves and stuff. I'm not a move monkey, I don't think. Not that there's anything wrong with being a move monkey, but I prefer the performative aspect rather than the dexterity and skill-based aspect. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to do, was I wanted to go through, and this might seem weird, but I wanted to go through because I also play Dungeons and Dragons, because I'm every kind of nerd. I wanted to go through the player handbook, because the player handbook has a whole list of spells, and I reckon that can work as just interesting presentations. Because obviously, if you're moving something, there's a psychokinesis, the power of my mind. But I think there's a more detailed, accurate presentation that you can give with it. But yeah, so I think that's what I do here. Is I start with the resources I have on my computer, then I go to the books. Probably better to go the other way around, honestly. But again, I'm limiting myself to 2 hours. And I've got to reply to people urgently as well, which is always blib. But yeah, so get resources and tricks and ideas without getting snowblind. That is the problem with downloads, is that they're really cheap, really quick and easy to get, and that means there's a lot there for very little, effort. It's a bad way of putting it, but yeah. All right, so here I go. So the idea now is that I don't really have like a database of the tricks that I just know or I'm working on. There's like creative. Oh, I was going to put that one in as well. I don't really have a database of the tricks that I know and what can be applied and what can be done when, and I reckon that having that will be really, really useful. So what I've done is I'm creating an Excel sheet with shiny. Can you see it? I wish I could just flip the camera on my phone, but there we are. Okay, I'll add a clip of it here at this point rather than the flipping around. Of whether it's for the show, whether I can do it without a problem, or if I need to get stuff to practice it. Whether it's something I'm actually creating, what type of trick it is, whether it's in the hands and works for, whether it's an in the hands thing that just works in person, or whether it's an in the hands thing, so to speak, that I can do through Zoom. So this is kind of what it looks like. Stuff for this show, practice work needed, need to rewatch it or learn it again. That's a different thing. If I've created it, whether I'm in the process of still creating it, what type, performance type, whether it's in the hands for Zoom, if it's in the hands for real life. Obviously it kind of just sort of peters out over here towards the end because that's just stuff I'm still adding or trying to find. Yeah. And I'm just sort of going through and classifying, and it's not terrible. I've got a fair few, probably around well, I mean, there's 56 rows in this table minus 7, so it's about 50. It's about 50 odd things. Some of them I definitely do better than others, and some of them I've done a lot of. Obviously, this is something that will grow and add and develop over time. But I reckon if I can just create essentially a table that covers all of this, it might really help. We're going to call this table Liturix. I wonder if I could just move the table. Ironically, I should be able to do all this because my dad is his entire career and life has been built off Excel essentially. So what have I gone with? Yeah. So that's currently what I'm doing, is going through and establishing all this and seeing where we are at. So for now, I reckon that this is probably the most important thing I can do. And then while this seems like time wasting, and to a degree it is, being able to quickly and easily go through and identify effects and stuff that I've done in the past that might be applicable in the future, I think is probably going to be quite helpful. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully it'll help me narrow down exactly what it is, because the problem, as I said in the last video, was that too many of them are card-based. It's just cards, which is fine, right? Because in the words of Michael Weber, cards or coins are just the paint. It's what you choose to do with it that matters. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but either way, some variety will keep interest. So yeah, I'm gonna finish off with this table. Obviously I'm adding rows and columns as rows for the tricks and columns for more details as needed, but it means I can filter and sort and remove stuff temporarily and blah blah blah. But yeah, it seems to be working. I'm giving myself ideas, and I'll hone it down as I go. Obviously this show is not going to be the final form, in the sense of it's not the best show of my creative talent. It's just what I'm doing for now, and as it goes on, more and more will be added, and more of the stuff that I create will be in there, which to me is personally a very important thing, because I feel that magicians that simply use wholesale other people's routines and ideas, which is something that I have not done, I always try and make it my own in some way, shape or form. Oh, that's the one I should add. It's like you're a trick, again to quote Weber, you're a trick demonstrator, not a magician. But yeah, hopefully the rest of this won't take me too long, but we'll see. So I've got this kind of narrowed down a bit more. It's about 42, 43, I think that's one I'm going to get rid of. Yeah, 42 tricks that I have that I leave that there rather than over there. 42 tricks that off the top of my head I have now. Of those tricks, hang on, that makes no sense whatsoever. Oh, because I have a whole load of empty spots on the grid for some reason. Rows. Hang on, I can just bring that up. Okay, let's try this again. So my creation, get rid of all the yeses. And that goes to... Oh. Right. So it's just editing it on the fly. So I don't actually know how many are purely mine. I mean, the ones that are mine are not in a state to perform currently, so it doesn't really matter. But I've now got a vague idea of the tricks that I can think of off the top of my head. Now, that's an... Oh, right, no, I've come up with another one. So 43. So if I quickly go a filter by yes, it's my trick. Okay, and then you look now at how many are left. I mean, it's cutting out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so tricks. So I've now kind of got a better idea of the tricks that I know, or rather the tricks that I'm aware of or have performed in the past. I don't like that actually. So we've got a classification of if it's sort of in the hands for Zoom or for in real life, because as I said, I'm creating this database, so it's like a wider list of tricks. And I think that this is a good way of looking at and analysing strengths and weaknesses. For example, if I clear all of the stuff I've done, right, and then I clear all the card type tricks out, and of that I clear the ones that probably at first glance don't really hold muster with doing it in the show. So get to the ends. That leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 13 non-card tricks. However, some of these, it's a bit generous to call them a trick. It's more of a bit, if that makes sense. Like, I feel it's like obviously you've got the concept of, you know, puzzle / trick, magic, and then moment, right? From, well, I'm paraphrasing, but from Maximum Entertainment, both 1 and 2. Some of these are really vague, but they are a good place to start looking at. I think some of these I can go through and just eliminate. But yeah, surprisingly helpful. Worth looking at and breaking down exactly what you can do, or exactly what you know how to do, and you know what fits. Because obviously you can frame anything in the right way, right? Like obviously you can frame any oh, that's a good idea. You can frame a trick in any way, right? You can use it to tell almost any story. Again, it's the paint. It's not what the art is. It's not what the painting is. But I feel there are some that are very much fit better than others. I like the gypsy thread. I think that's a pretty solid choice. Yeah. Interesting. I think it's yeah. So I think now is the time that I go through the other resources that I have and add to this. This is just the stuff that I've had off the top of my head, and what I can do with it directly. But now I think I can go through and analyze it a little better and work out what there is that I can develop and build on. Actually, that reminds me. So yeah, okay. There are some that I'm coming to the conclusion are going to be much better than others. Much better than others. I think a book test using a phone. I'm not going to say its name because it's searchable, but anyone who knows magic will know exactly what I'm talking about. Gypsy thread are both good ideas. I think the other 5 or 6 here need either significant fleshing out, but if I'm looking to do like a 45-minute show, then that's kind of a different game. So yeah, I want to keep away from cards as much as possible for no reason other than repetition is the death of interest and attention. Anyone who's seen a 15-part ambitious card can tell you that. You know, keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it to the point. Obviously, this is going to need massive rescripting, massive redrafting, but if I have an idea of the tricks and the message I'm trying to, convey, the ideas I'm trying to convey, and which tricks go with which, and blah, 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 then that can help massively with a lot of stuff. The only other problem is, of course, that some of my stuff is in the UK and I'm in Germany. So to get stuff like Arthur, which could be a brilliant thing to do with the close-up pad that I have, that would be very, very good. There's a lot you could do with that. I would either need to buy Arthur again, or I would need to get it from the UK at some point somehow. Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, further to that, this is good progress, but I think I need more detail with some of them and more focus of an idea on others. Basically, in English, I need to work out what stuff fits for what I'm trying to do. And I think now is the time for me to go through the downloads and resources I have on my hard drive of Doom. I have a big hard drive. It's a very big hard drive. It's like a few terabytes. So, yeah. So I think that's what's next. So interestingly, one of the sets of videos that I have, I've gone online to my account with this particular retailer and discovered I have far fewer videos on there than I thought I did. Now, the interesting thing for me about that is that after there was a interesting moment with their website about a year and a bit ago, I haven't really bought anything off them. And actually I can think of effects which are, for whatever reason, no longer available to be streamed or downloaded. They're just not on the website at all, which is very interesting, given that I know full well that I purchased the effects of this website, this company. That's very interesting. I know there are, but well, I guess a word to the wise, that if you rely on websites holding your videos, they don't. They really don't. That's really interesting. Not even like a link to a not even like a link to a video online. Nothing. That is fascinating. I wonder if they had a bad breakup with the creator. So yeah, as I said, word to the wise, make sure you have all of your downloads, because if you don't, they may at some point get taken down and you have no way of accessing them in the future. This is by no means the only, I mean, I've not stated which company this is, but the longer you've been in Magic, the more you know which company it's likely to be that has screwed around online and changed their website and changed access to stuff. You know who it is. I'm not saying it, but as I said, track record, right? But yeah, so I've discovered some of that stuff's gone. The reason I didn't just go through my database, the reason I went on to, or my hard drive, the reason I went onto the website to look for it is that I at some point need to go through and actually sort out my collection, because it's a bit of a mess, and I think that, probably going through it and having a look properly about well, God, I'm incoherent, aren't I? Because I'm doing two things at once. No, going through and having a look at what I have on my downloads, sorting them, filtering them, classifying them, is obviously something I will need to do. But I just thought for speed purposes, I'd just go and look at the downloads on the website. And it turns out that that is no longer applicable. That's fascinating that they would do that. I don't know, it's not like the creator is... No, but it's not even the one I'm looking at. It's not even, if you search it up, even though they created it, it is not there. It's just not there at all. There's a load of stuff that's coming up as similar, related. So they clearly know which one I'm talking about. They clearly have it in mind. There's related tricks, related this, related that. That is fascinating. Get your downloads. Make sure they're off your thing. I'm going to look at the other company whose stuff I've got a lot from. Well, in the past, I haven't bought any magic from these retailers in years, even though they do these, big blowout sales. Yeah, physical media or having hard copies, very useful. On to the next one. So yeah, so another website done. Again, I thought I had more on that than I did, but apparently not. So that's interesting. Again, and then I'm looking at oh god, the words just are not coming out of my mouth. Again, I'm going on the websites because the archive I have is a mess. But yeah. Oh, that's another one. Interesting. All right, okay. And then I've got some other stuff I'll go through and look at properly. But I'm getting more of an idea. I think that this is the next project to obviously I have all this stuff, gone through the onlines, gone through the websites, download stuff. I'll go through the archive next, and then I'll go through the archive next, and then I will go through the books and stuff properly. Obviously, I'm reading the books in my spare time, irrespective of these 2 hours. But yeah, so once I've done that, I'll have a better idea of the stuff I can perform. Obviously, I'll go and look at the other stuff I have over behind me. But yeah, I need a new line in this. So rather than name of the trick, it's a utility device. Oh, Flatpak is another one. So I'll just add in another little line, a little table. As I said, I'll oh, that's not what I meant to do. Insert. So you get an idea. But I think actually after I've finished looking and getting all this stuff over, I quickly do that and then I'm done for today, because it's now 2 p.m. I've been doing this for an hour and a bit, give or take, but I didn't get much done this morning. So I have a bit of catch up to do for later today, because I want to be performing some of these things tonight, so I've got practice and rehearsal quickly, rather than taking time with it. But yeah, so I'll finish off with this, and I'll see you tomorrow.